So I am Acidic Roots, and this is Rego, or Mr. Reginator, and it's Halloween, and he wants to go explore, but we wanted to kind of have a synopsis of these next several days. Basically, this stuff is going to be between like October 30th and about November 3rd, 4th, some stuff like that. So basically, one of the things of note from this particular time is Jackal Goldkick's birthday. So best wishes to Jackal Goldkick. He has an early November birthday. I celebrated it last year. Going to celebrate it more this year, and that's one of the situations that's happening. But today is Halloween, so we're not actually quite there yet. But just to kind of say, this is just a synopsis of some of the stuff. Just want to kind of encounter some of this. Like Gary's in the other room watching like Nintendo games on YouTube and such, and I'm just gonna kind of kick it. This is kind of be the situation. Deuces, folks. So yeah, I have to figure out how I'm going to entertain these folks, this extra company that I'm going to have for the next several days. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to film like today, Halloween, and then I'm going to film like 3 days later as a synopsis of what's kind of been going on. Because I'm not going to do this 4 times each consecutive day, but I just kind of look after a few of the things we're going to do is probably go to McDonald's, stuff like that, get some breakfast, get some hash browns, that type stuff. I mean, the situation behind it, I mean, really, when I have buddies around, I tend to walk places more, so it wouldn't be too much of a trigger point to walk to a McDonald's or something like that if absolutely necessary. But, of course, I probably would get tired, but just to kind of say, get some hash browns, get some sausage biscuits, that type of stuff from McDonald's. Just the general stuff about going to some of these places. And then watch the evening news. That's another thing. So it's funny having Gary watch the evening news just because he's kind of a comedian just like myself, and he tends to crack jokes, not so much about the travesties, but just the extra kind of cracks just about some of the situations that happen. It's just funny when you get some funny people watching the news because you see these things and it's like, well, what did you think happened? Some of that type of stuff that you just kind of see going on. So just paying attention to some of that. And yeah, so with like the nonsense that's been going on, just learning about like the monkeypox and the Ukraine war and the hurricanes and some of that type of stuff. It's just good to kind of keep a foot about it. Midterms, that's another thing. Gary's probably going to be at this household when we vote, and I'm going to have to vote. So that's kind of the situation. Got to talk about the abortion rights and that type of stuff. So that's something to look forward to. And yep, just general fanfare, that type of stuff. The Nintendo, the NES games, the evening news, McDonald's, some of that type of stuff, the low-key parties. I've got a bottle of vodka here that I'm sure Gary's going to want to. I mean, I always seem to have these, but this is the bottle of vodka here that I'm sure Gary's going to want to engulf. I've got plenty of goodies here that I can't actually have anymore. But just kind of based upon the context, it just has the situation. He's actually in the other room watching Nintendo games, so wouldn't you know what Contra's on? It's just kind of the concept. So I'm just like, yeah, perfect beneficial stuff. But once again, happy birthday to Jackal Goldkick. Hopefully he gets the stuff that he's looking forward to, and he has a pretty triumphant day. I just would have to say it seems interesting enough. In the past we've talked about like him getting Dennis songs and Rush the Russian Rapper songs, so the assortment behind those would be interesting enough. But just to kind of say, yeah, just some good stuff. He is monetized on YouTube, and there actually is a video on the Frenchy Talent channel celebrating that. So if you haven't seen that video, go watch it and have a celebration of your own. Perfect excuse, even if you have, watch it again and celebrate. Jackal Goldkick got monetized, good reason to pop corks. Have one of these, have a nice drink responsibly bottle of vodka, and I'm probably going to have to entertain Gary and Reggie. This is kind of the concept, so. What to do, folks? This is Acidic Roots. This is just another crazy day at the Acidic Roots pad. Reggie's a few feet to the north, and the rest of the cats are kind of around, and we kind of have these party vibes going. Maybe you can faintly hear the contra being played by Gary in the background. He's going to be kind of quiet so I can do this video. But yeah, these festivities have been pretty night-centric and crazy. Several trips to McDonald's, some makeshift morning radio and stuff like that, some night sessions, some contra, some stuff like that. Kind of typical jokes, Jimmy Kimmel, some of those type things that just kind of go along. We've got plenty of good vibes celebrating the standard festivities that have been kind of going around. Even like some McDonald's munchies, which you're going to find about soon enough. Like, as far as that actively kind of goes, here's the Reginator. I'll show him real quick. Maybe you can see him. Yeah, he wants to play with his toy, so I'm going to put him down and, you know. But this is typical vibes when you hang out here. Gary loves it. He tells me he remembers these times where we used to be awake at 4 o'clock and 6 o'clock in the morning and watch like Good Morning America and some of that type of stuff. We got to get back in the swing of watching the news. Definitely some night-centric stuff. We're going to have some more good times. I've got an apple pie in the other room that I'm going to have. I'm going to get to munching on that, and I will bid you adieu.